Talked a little bit about trim and its effect on displacement. You have to remember the original Victory ships and Liberty ships that a lot of license exam questions are made from. Those ships, they typically, the after perpendicular was at the rudder post, and that's exactly where they put the after draft marks on the rudder post or on the rudder itself. And the forward drafts were basically along the stem of the ship, so that if you were near the full load draft, that intersection of the water summer draft and the forward perpendicular usually defined where the forward perpendicular was. So the draft marks would hit almost right on the forward perpendicular without any corrections. And to this day, in the license exam questions, there is no differentiation between apparent drafts and true drafts, because the assumption is all the draft marks are always put at the perpendiculars. On Asian and European-built bulk carriers with large bulbous bows and a lot of shape aft near the race of the ship where the propeller and the rudder is, they actually move the draft marks forward on the aft end and aft on the forward end to have more of a flat surface to read the draft marks with. Basically because these ships do draft surveys, and you have to be able to read the drafts. It's no good to put a draft mark where you can't read it. Anyway, so that's about it for trim. I'm thinking of what we could do next time. I think we'll do the illustrative trim problems. And the one I like the best is, if you want to review it ahead of time, will be back here on page 208 to 213. And this is a way where you can actually figure out exactly how much weight you need to put in a couple different cargo hatches to trim the vessel the way you want it. It's kind of an interesting deal. You can actually manage the ship's trim very well, not by just waiting to see what you end up with, but actually determining where you want to be and how do you get there. And part of the first thing we did today was, okay, where is the LCG of the ship? Well, the LCG is where the ship tells us to be when you read the drafts. So if you know where you're at, and then you know where you're going, the weight shift to calculate it, it's simple. It's just the weight times distance divided by the displacement. So the other thing to think about for next time is, what is the difference between the trimming moment and the vessel's weight moments? The vessel has a vertical weight moment, a longitudinal weight moment, and a transverse weight moment. On the other hand, at the same time, it only has one trimming moment, and it's not the same thing as the longitudinal weight moment, which is used to calculate LCG. So, that's it. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Hello. Your vessel is talking to you. Are you listening? I'm thinking of offering private stability and trim lessons using Zoom. My goal is to fill the gaps the license exam questions and the required license training does not cover concerning the management of your vessel's stability and trim. Would you be interested? If so, please give me an email at williamegeorge@gmail.com. Thanks a lot. Bye.